take two. Crypto is surging this week. Let's look at real quick. Let's look at Bitcoin here. This is the 4-hour chart. So Bitcoin has consolidated here at between 30 grand to 3,500, and it has exploded to the upside, and it's at 31. It hit 31.5, right? And now it's settling right here. It's above 31. We're gonna see what it does. Either it could move, make another move up, or this war stuff could bring it down, right? So Bitcoin's making a move. As you can see, it was on a down. It was on a big falling wedge here for a while, right? From here to here, falling wedge, and then we exploded to the upside. As soon as we exploded here, boom, we up, right? So this is when we broke 27 grand. This is a bullish. I think the bottom has been reached, and we can go to the daily here. Let's look at the daily. As you can see, this is the rounding out. It's starting to round out, and we're heading back up. If potentially, look at this. Let me show you something. If Bitcoin, this is 69,000 all-time high. If Bitcoin can reach somewhere around here above 50,000 before the halving, we may see the first super cycle in crypto, which will be the biggest, most legendary run we have ever seen. So if you're not buying right now, this is not financial advice. If you're not buying right now, then what are you doing? So let's go here. Well, we got some news here. Everybody's reporting on Prigozhin and the Wagner group in Russia, the coup that is happening. We could listen live. Let's see what they're talking about. Mario Nafal is probably right now reporting the most current stuff. And let's take a listen real quick here.
They say a source of theirs claims, quote, "The criminal case against Prigozhin will be dropped, and the PMC Wagner fighters will receive illegal immunity."
Who made that statement?
It's a Russian Telegram channel called Rus Brief.
And how
again, that shows.
Just to quickly sort of verify, how legitimate is that Telegram group? Because I know you know the well also.
I mean, it appears. I mean, again, as anything.
Moldova, Libera, Moldova. There's media reports as well that criminal cases have already been dropped from Prigozhin.
So that will be most likely as part of the negotiation. And another important aspect to take into consideration is, remember some of what Prigozhin said, that no blood was dropped. So that's an important aspect, that even though this was a coup, they both sides ensured that there was never any kind of physical conflict. I know some helicopters that
7 Russian helicopters were shot down.
No human died, but also no human died.
What do you mean no human died, Suleiman? Helicopters, 7 helicopters.
Humans flown by drones, perhaps AI.
Suleiman, people
what?
did.
KA-52.
Guys.
So when after the helicopters dropped, Mario, we had reports where he continued to say. So unless Prigozhin is lying,
he's probably of a.
Have you guys got actual report that someone's died though? No, that's a real question. I'm not trying to be sarcastic. Have we got an actual report that someone died?
I'm pretty certain he said his.
No. Even look, guys. Again, if we have 5-10 people died, it's really bad. But if you look at the number of deaths in the Ukraine war, this I would still say this is a coup.
So there you go, real quick. That's how you listen in on Twitter Spaces, which is, in my opinion, revolutionary for decentralized media, and that is something that, you know what? Matter of fact, let's bring that up one time. Let's bring that up. So let's go here. This is a Bitcoin maxi, even though I think he makes a good point here. So we're gonna go to his account, and this is something that he brought up. And let me see here, right here. Here it is, a short thread, which I feel he has a good point here by Mark Moss. What do Tucker Carlson, Joe Rogan, and Glenn Beck have in common? They signify the largest shift the world has seen in 500 years, as the 3 revolutionary cycles all converge right now. A short thread. Last week, Joe Rogan hosted Dem president candidate Robert Kennedy Jr. for 3 hours, discussing all the topics the supposed mainstream media won't talk about, like the vaccine industrial complex, the history, the politics, the possible side effects, and the gazillions of dollars on the line. The quote-unquote, the old guard of the legacy media, who still think they are mainstream, were not happy and quickly aligned the troops and the narrative to discredit the conversations as well as add homonym attacks against both Joe Rogan Experience and Robert F. Kennedy. But this is where it gets interesting. According to the Nielsen media research, mainstream media isn't mainstream. MSN ain't mainstream anymore. Look at the numbers for early June. Here you go. So you got ABC at 3 million and a little bit of change, 2.6 million, 2.6 million, 1.7 million, 1.6 million, and a little bit over 500,000. All of that grand total 12.3 million viewers. But now compare that to on June 13th, Tucker Carlson had 101.5 million views on his Twitter video feed alone. Crazy. Joe Rogan gets 11 million listeners per episode of his podcast. Glenn Beck and The Blaze get tens of millions of views. And those three are just the tip of the iceberg. Centralized propaganda or media is losing fast to decentralized media. Like the printing press, Unleash Information, and the Protestant Reformation, hundreds and thousands of independent decentralized voices speaking truth free of corporate coercion. We're in that. I think I agree with him. I agree with him. We're in that era where everybody can have decentralized news, and I'm reporting myself. I have a crypto channel, but I could talk about stocks. I could talk about sports. I could talk about news. And we could report on all type of things. And this is where, if we continue to stay decentralized, then we can bring down the machine of mainstream media, right? That tries to brainwash the youth and brainwash a lot of us. I agree with that. So decentralized protocols. Bitcoin allows for the free flow of information and value exchange, removing the financial gatekeepers such as platforms, payment processors, and sponsors. Pound Nost has removed the centralized platform entirely. Although billions are being spent on woke, ESG, Day, Psi narratives from the WEF, BlackRock, and others across was once mainstream media, now is just old, tired legacy media, end quote. The people have rejected their narratives. Truth is always found through open, honest discussion, and any attempts to censor and silence the opposing view only display their lack of transparency and deceit that much more. So, the way we win this battle for decentralization and freedom lies in building our own parallel economy. Get to work building the world we want. And I agree with that. I agree with that, Mark. I think that's where we need to be headed, and that's big. So, Mr. Poole, he released a video, which this is one of his first videos ever. An old XRP Riddler in the community. A lot of views. That's crazy. So he, the 24-hour countdown. This was yesterday. Mr. Loop. That's Mr. Poole. This was yesterday. So yeah. Is he onto something? Does he know something we don't know? I don't know. But he's a long-time Riddler in the community. Is this Putin? Who knows? Or is that Prigozhin? Yeah. So that's that with the XRP community here. So the other thing is France wants to enter the BRICS. However, we do have, we have, let's get this out the way here. Okay. France is looking to attend the upcoming BRICS summit in South Africa, Johannesburg, in August. French President Emmanuel Macron expressed his interest to attend the summit, hinting that the country wants to end reliance on the U.S. dollar. Macron repeatedly made controversial remarks early this year targeting the U.S. dollar supremacy on the global stage. The president called for Europe to rethink its dependence on the US dollar, calling the currency a great risk. Macron stressed that the European countries must not get caught up in crises that are not ours. The president refers to the dollar's debt as a major crisis that could hamper all countries that keep the greenback as reserves. There he is with Xi Jinping. However, the BRICS alliance is yet to approve Macron's interest to attend the upcoming summit. Russia is against France being a part of the BRICS, citing that Macron administration wants internal details of the alliance and sabotage the soon-to-be released currency. Right? They don't trust France or Macron, namely. In addition, the BRICS influence is growing in Latin America as Argentina sidelined the U.S. dollar for imports. Argentina carried out 19% of its overall imports by paying the Chinese yuan and not the U.S. dollar. A total of $2.7 billion was settled in cross-border transactions, with the Chinese yuan giving the USD a miss. In other significant shift, Pakistan settled trade for Russian oil imports by paying with the Chinese yuan. The US dollar took a back seat in all of these international transactions, signaling that BRICS is stronger than expected. BRICS takes on the US dollar with the Chinese yuan. The Chinese yuan is most commonly used currency for international trade than the dollar. A handful of countries have expressed interest to join the BRICS alliance and accept the new currency. The expansion from BRICS to BRICS Plus could be decided in the next summit, making the bloc financially stronger. Overall, the BRICS Plus GDP would reach 32.66 trillion if the expansion goes through. The estimate is 7.16 trillion ahead of the United States GDP, which is at 25.5 trillion. Therefore, the dollar and the American economy stand at a risk of collapse if the BRICS currency gains strength in the international markets. Now, yes, the dollar has been attacked many times. Nobody has succeeded. Will BRICS succeed? Well, I don't know. It is a formidable opponent, and if it is, then most likely you should have some exposure to somewhere where you can where you can have some kind of exposure to making some money. So where do I believe it is? All the people that are connected with them, like XRP, most of the ISO 200-2020 tokens. This generational wealth transfer is gonna happen. Are you gonna be on the right side of it? Hopefully you are. Hopefully you take steps to be in a better position in the years to come. But this is now the time to buy. Like, if you're gonna buy crypto from now to the rest of the end of the year, before the next halving happens, is the time to do it. It's not financial advice, but every week, every month, I am putting away money and I'm buying crypto continuously because I know what's going to happen. It's a 4-year cycle, and you're playing the long game with crypto. You invest in the bear market, you harvest in the bull market. Simple game, takes patience, and we could all do it. So with that being said, I hope you have a great weekend, and I wish you the best.